Hi, and welcome back to the Positive Prepper. So there are 3 points that I want to talk about in this video that I think we all need to be aware of and begin preparing for if you're not already. So the first one I'm sure you've heard about is the new COVID variant. I don't know what they're calling it right now, but it started apparently in South Africa, and it is spreading. It is going to once again change our definition of new normal, although y'all know I hate that phrase. And there's a continued push to get the snake bite, even though it's not going to have any effect on this new variant. The flu vaccine is, kind of a once a year thing, and it's only 30 to 50% effective because they try to predict which variant of the flu is going to come out, and that's the form of the flu vaccine that they use for that year. Okay, this new variant is not going to be impacted at all by the snake bite, and they keep continuing to push that. The new governor of New York is declaring another state of emergency, which will probably go into 2022. Truckers who routinely cross the United States border will need to have the snake bite by sometime in January of 2022. And, it's just going to be more of the same, guys. We're headed back for all of the lockdowns again. It's just another thing. But I want you to imagine this. This is what had me a little bit nervous when I was going through all of this. So let's pretend that you're walking down your street in your hometown, and somebody comes up behind you, and you feel them kind of push on your arm, and they walk by, and oh, I'm sorry, and whatever, oops, they bumped into you, right? Well, the Netherlands has developed what they're calling a bubble gun. And what this thing does is it can shoot into you the venom within a millisecond with no needle. There's no damage, no wound, no visible entry point. And so this person bumps into you, and all of a sudden you have this venom in your system that you didn't want and didn't give the okay for, but people out there in the powers that be that know that you don't have it could easily just walk by you and give it to you without your knowledge. They're saying that this is, a year or so away from being used in the general population. But I suspect with the push that they're having right now that this is probably far beyond that right now. And it's just something to be aware of. Every time we say that, oh, they would never stoop to that, they stoop to that. So just be aware that that's coming. But and along with this new COVID variant, the stock market dropped. I think it was 600 points today. It's going to send us all back another year. Everything's going to get shut down. I don't know. We're just going to keep this going as long as we can, right? The second thing I want you to be aware of is the push for digital identity ecosystems. This is what the WEF, the World Economic Forum, is talking about. So they want to go from paper anything to digital everything. And that includes all of your your banking information, your identification, your flight, so your travel tickets, your work, your W-2s, your record of work history, and all of that stuff. They want everything in your life to go completely digital. Think about how easy that's going to be to make changes in, and I'm just going to say it, delete people that they might not want to be in those systems, and then just say, oh, we don't know who you are, you can't have access to this. They're doing the same thing with the snake bite passports. They want everything to be digital, and that's going to make it a lot easier for that control. The third thing is, again, the WEF. They put out a new ad talking about, I hope you're sitting down for this one, climate change could be the reason that your bank accounts get frozen, i.e. a snowstorm. So they're basically saying that anything that happens in the climate could be the cause of your bank account being frozen. So I need you to prepare for this, okay? We've already talked about the fact that you need to start taking money out of that bank. You need to, if you got to keep some in there to cover your bills, your auto pays, whatever, I get that. We do the same thing. But anything above and beyond that, you need to be getting out of that bank. Okay? It's not going to take long, and there is going to be a shutdown, whether it is the global banking system that's going to be frozen, so that we can all go to that digital one world currency, or Russians' ability to take out our satellites, or the Chinese hypersonic missiles, or the powers that be having the ability to control weather through HAARP. Right now, I don't know what the exact number is, but it's well over $1 trillion are currently in the U.S. banks. And this, of course, is not in actual money. If I had $1 million in the bank account, I could not go to that bank and they would not give me $1 million in cash, right? So it's not in actual money, but it's in that digital account. The one that says I have that amount, and then it's all the digital stuff that keeps track of where it goes and how much I have left. Okay, so if they decide that climate change has all of a sudden frozen everyone's bank accounts, I want you to think about where that would leave you. So if that happened tomorrow, right, it's the end of November, most people's rents or mortgage payments are due at the beginning of the month. Maybe you need gas in your car to get to and from work for next week after Thanksgiving. But your bank account is now frozen. And if you haven't taken the cash out, how are you going to pay for any of your necessities or your bills? So I want you to think about what you would need to have out in cash to cover those things that you would need to cover. And you can go on the World Economic Forum their actual website, and you can look up how they are talking about using climate change as a reason to freeze bank, or I should say as an excuse to freeze bank accounts. So these are just 3 things that are going on right now in our global news, if you will. Uh, you know, is it ever going to end? Nope. Is it going to get better? Nope. But yesterday we celebrated Thanksgiving. And I don't know about you all, but for me, we preferred not to know the status of the people that were here. And there's a lot of reasons to be thankful. Thankful to God that, you know, we have a healthy family. We've been very blessed over these last months. You know, things for us are okay. It doesn't mean that we are without challenges or things that get us down every now and then, but I think we have a lot more to be thankful for. We have new grandchildren on the horizon. You know, we have a lot of things to be thankful for, and those are the things that we are really holding on to, that in the coming year and in the coming chaos and the things that potentially could happen, that we know that we're still going to have God on our side, and we're still going to have the strength of our family. And we know that we are prepared to get through whatever it is that comes. And that's part of the reason that I do this channel, is because anything that I can do to help other people get prepared, know what's going on. It's always better to prepare for the worst and hope for the best than to be completely unprepared. So I want to especially bring up the freezing of the bank accounts. I also want to again mention the potential for the lockdowns and things that might be coming with this new variant. Be prepared for that. There's going to be a lot of panic buying of whatever is left in the supply chain, and I would start making those preparations sooner rather than later. So, but hang on to the thankfulness, hang on to the hope. We're going to get through whatever it is that comes together. I hope you all have had a very blessed Thanksgiving day. God bless.